We got some major news from Toyota slash Lexus. We still really don't know what type of model this and what type of brand this car actually is. It's either going to be a GR, top of the line Toyota, or it's going to be sort of the next generation Lexus LFR or LFA, which is the successor to the LFA, I would say. So we're going to have a look at this design and check out what this is all about, because to me this sounds like a proper supercar when it comes to the specs. So we're going to check out this article from Car Scoops before jumping quickly to Photoshop here. So I'm going to link this down below in the description. Toyota's GR supercar with a 900 horsepower V8. Not bad. Could drop this summer. I'm going to show you what this sounds like in a minute as well. Whether you call it a Lexus LFR or the Toyota GR GT3, the supercar will be the wildest and most powerful production option from Japan. Will reportedly feature a hybrid twin-turbo V8. I love it. With a combined output of 900 horsepower, you have camouflaged prototypes that we've been seeing now for a few years already, have been repeatedly spotted in racing and street legal version. So I think they're going to make sort of, I read somewhere that the Toyota version is going to be the sort of the Le Mans racer, the race car version of this, and then you have the Lexus being the road-going versions, but nothing is sure yet. So a new report from Japan suggests production could begin as early as this summer, potentially putting the first deliveries on track for the fall. Internally known as a GR GT3, the Toyota Group's new Halo car is rumored to carry the Lexus LFR badge. And I think if you look at the spy photos here, they have a bunch of detailed spy photos here from Car Scoops. You can sort of see that it does have way more Lexus vibe to it when it comes to the graphics. You can still see that through the graphics. Another possibility is that it will debut under Gazoo Racing's name as a standalone model, but either way, it's set to sit at the top, of course, of Toyota's GR lineup. It looks like an evolved version of the Toyota's 2022 GR GT3 concept. Now, as I said, with subtle Lexus-inspired design elements and key graphics, I would say, in the rear and in the front. Engine notes from the test video strongly suggest that there will be a V8 under the long hood. And check out this hood. I mean, this looks like a Mercedes SLS AMG proportions. I love it. Look how far back the driver actually sits. The driver basically sits on top of the rear axle. And then you have this big V8 under the hood here. Looking great. The combustion engine alone is set to deliver 720 horsepower and total output 900 horsepower when combined with the hybrid assist. It's built on an aluminum chassis wrapped in carbon fiber bodywork. The new model should strike a balance between lightweight construction and high strength. Of course, that is what you want in a supercar, hypercar like this. And then they have the track-only GT3 version. Features side-mounted exhaust pipes. I think maybe those are these pieces right here. I'm not entirely sure. And it's significantly more aggressive aero components than the street legal counterpart. So I think the Toyota is going to be, a lot of wings and fins all over the place, while the Lexus is going to be a little bit more dialed down, street legal, more classy version. The supercar could start at around close to $200,000. In Japan, undercutting hybrid rivals such the Temerario, the Ferrari 296 GTB, McLaren's upcoming electrified 750S successor. Unlike the Lexus LFA, this model reportedly won't be a limited production run, and that is great to hear, because I want to see more, cars like this, supercars from manufacturers that are not, in the $2-3 million range. Instead, bring the price down a little bit and make them into, a longer production run than just limited. And I think that's great to see. Now, looking at the photos here, let's check out these detailed photos. We have both from the interior and also the exterior. And I want to show you this. Let's see. We're going to get more detailed photos later on. But you can see here that, to me, this shape right here, you have the headlights going downward like this into a point in this area. I don't know if you can see my mouse, and then coming back down. And this, to me, feels like a Lexus grill, with a spindle grill in the front end of Lexus. This definitely feels more Lexus to me. And looking at the side view, I mean, the wheels look great. I love to see basic wheels like this. I think it looks fantastic. You have some sort of air slot here behind the front wheel, front axle. probably to reduce some pressure in the wheel well. And I do believe that this is actually the GT3 race car version. I'm not entirely sure, but the proportions here, they look absolutely fantastic. And you know what this reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me of the Toyota FT, what was it called? The Supra concept that they showed but didn't put into production. Instead, they turned into what the Supra, came to be. And the proportions of the concept looked like a hypercar to me. And this looks like maybe they taken some inspiration from that old concept. I do believe it's called the FT1. I'm not entirely sure. And just started to now put this into production. Looking at the taillights here, looks like we're probably going to have a full light bar going here. You can see that these angles, again, just pointing upwards like this. And we sort of have something pointing downward here. And this, again, reminds me a lot more of Lexus styling than a Toyota. You can see more clearly here in the front end. Massive intakes in the lower section. Flat hood, big V8 hybrid system under the hood. I love it. I can't wait to see what this is actually going to look like in real life. So let's check out the interior here real quick before we jump in and go into Photoshop. So let's see if I can maximize these images right here. So you can see that the interior is very, very basic right now. This is full-on test interior. You do have the gear selectors here. Can go into more detail and check those out. This is probably not what the infotainment screen is going to look like. This is just for testing. Here you can see the gear selector looking very sporadic and very simplistic, of course, just for testing and see how everything drives and before they put everything into production. You have reverse, neutral, drive, and manual mode as well with the parking button right there. Looking at the front end here you can clearly see this Lexus inspired, and also this line up top. Hold on, this line up top right here with this curvature. This also feels more Lexus to me than Toyota. And you can sort of hint at what the headlight is going to look like. We have a sharp corner up here going down, looking pretty static to me, but definitely has more Lexus vibes than Toyota vibes. Same goes for this image here. You have some air outlets up top on the hood, heat extractors and so on. Looking pretty cool. You can see we have some sort of plug here, or maybe this is just a latch for the hood probably. And air scoop in the hood as well. The wheels look fantastic. Love the design of the wheels. I probably not want to have them be in black though. But again, these are just for test purposes. These are not going to be the production wheels anyway. And here you can see just how industrial this thing looks. The air outlet on the front fender, it just scoops right in here. And this makes me believe that this is probably the GT3 version that we're looking at right here. Looks like we have a small little camera here sticking out as well. And looking at the intakes on the side, we have intakes in the lower section, intakes up top on the sort of the shoulder, the back shoulder. And look at the design of the rear view mirror here. I think this looks like a Formula One inspired design for the side mirrors. I think it looks very, very cool. You can see more intakes here. The rear end, the quad exhaust pipes are looking super industrial, super basic, of course, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. You have the wing, it looks to be adjustable as well. So let's have a listen to what this actually sounds like. Check this out. Definitely sounds like a race car when you're listening to this car, and the shift sounds very, very quick as well. I mean, it's a proper supercar from Lexus, and that is very exciting because the last supercar they did was the LFA. Went down in history as one of the best supercars of all time, specifically when it comes to the noise. This is probably not going to have the same sort of noise, you know, screaming like that high-pitched Formula One V8 noise. Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good. It looks extremely planted on the ground, and it looks to be a, proper, not sure if we can call it a hypercar in this price range, but a proper supercar at least. Has a solid sound to it. So let's jump into Photoshop here real quick. I want to show you the concept from 2022 down low at the bottom real fast and compare it to what changes I see for the production version up top. So the concept is clearly a Toyota down here. This has not a lot of Lexus styling in it, and we can see that this then went into production for the new Yaris, the new Prius, and also the new Corolla. Pretty much every single new Toyota these days have this front face with these graphics in the front. But look at the shape of the hood here and how small the greenhouse is and how far back. If you just squint your eyes, this sort of looks like almost like a Mercedes SLS AMG, which has some of the craziest proportions of any production car. Now, looking what changed here in the front end, specifically in the graphics, why I think this is more of a Lexus styling, is the headlight unit down here now pointing downwards, and then we have this graphic in the lower section pointing inwards, creating this spindle grille that we're used to seeing from Lexus. The proportions looks very similar to what we have in the Toyota GT3 concept down there, and we have the same sort of greenhouse. Not sure if the greenhouse maybe has stretched forward a little bit, meaning that the A-pillar now sits maybe a little bit forward compared to the concept from 2022. But overall, I think this is going to be a very exciting car to see, and I honestly cannot wait to see what this is going to look like because of the static design that we have in the front end with these headlights here. I am not sure if it's going to look maybe too static, or what's going on here, or how they're going to solve this angle of the headlight and have it be, fluid and in line, have some line flow before that between that headlight and the other key graphics in the front end.